So this is being done as a selfie video, so it's not going to look the same as the other video, and you can't see the left hand. It's too much of a weird angle, but you can see my bow really well. So hopefully you can see I'm on 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll explain and practice backwards. Here's the A. So it's going to look a little different than the other video. So thanks for your patience. It's William Tell. We're going to practice backwards from the end, and then I'll run through the first half of the piece after I run through the second half of the piece. We already have the other instructional video. So you heard the A, D, G, C. That should be pretty good with your tuner, but just double check to mine. So the ending is just this open G. And then you do an up bow, and then he'll cut you off, and you can release and maybe stop your string because it's an open string and it'll keep ringing. So you do 4 on the D, and it's just a quick little up, down, 1 E and a 2 E and 4 on D, and then you do the up like that. Just an extra up that's just smoothly done. Don't have to change the exact time as your neighbor. Ahead of that are the 4 open Ds. And you have your 4 ready to go. If you start in measure 75, it'll just start an open D with a piano forte, loud and then super soft. Get your 4D ready to drop, 4D. Now crescendo. 4E and 2E and 4. And he'll conduct it. It'll be easy to follow. Cut off. And then stop your string from vibrating is usually a good idea. Ahead of that, so we're just going to go back to the next thing. I see a 1, 2, 4 on A, 1, 2, 4. Then I go right to 4 on D, 4, A, 1. Then the next thing is 3, 4, D. And then the grand pause, where everybody rests and waits for him to cue you. So 1, 2, 4 on the A string, ready, go. Straight across, back and forth bows, up, down, up. 3 on G, just let the bow roll. So it just does down, up, down, up, down, up. Back and forth bows, you don't have to circle. So here it is. 1, 2, 4, and 4, A, 1, roll to G, 3, 4, D. And then you can get ready, your 1. If you start from the pickup in measure 69 to 70, the pickup to 70, 1 and 2. 1, 2, 4, hop to 4 and D, 4, A, 1, 3, 4, D, grand pause, start on a down, forte piano. And keep doing crescendo to the end. Excellent. So the next thing would be maybe starting at 55. Again, that'll start on a down bow, even though they forgot to mark it. So sforzando on each of the first notes of these groups. First open G. Do down bow again. Now normal 1 on D. Start down bow. Half step back. Low 1. And then D. Measure 65. 66. And D. 2, 1, 2, 69, 2. And I went on into there because that might be a little tricky at first. I don't think from 75 to the end is too tricky, but we'll do it when we run the whole thing later. And again, those down bows, you can just do down, down, up, down. Just do another down. You don't have to circle. And each one starts with the first one louder. And this is halfway between the normal first finger and the nut, is that low 1. And then D. It's a pretty big distance, but not too big. If you hear that while you're practicing with this, that'll help. Measure 40, 9, that's a good place to start because this material repeats earlier. It's D, 1 on G, open D again, 1 on D. That takes a little getting used to because you just have to roll your bow over to the G. You don't have to lift, you see, it just rolls over. D, 1, D, 1, D1 on G, 1 on D. D1, D1, one more time, go D1, D1. And now the next measure is 3A, 4, D, G. 3A, 4, and A, D, G. And do that again, 3A, 4, D, G. 3A, 4, D, G. Good, let's try that faster. 3A, 4, D, G, and ready, go. 4, D, G. Now, if you look at this next measure, measure 51, is G, 3, 1. Now do those two measures again. G, 3, 1, G, and we're at 55. You've already done that. And what's kind of nice, if you've already done it, your eye looks on it, it's like, oh, I know what that is. And you're teaching yourself to be calm rather than if you always start at the beginning, what is that? Oh no, what's that? You don't want to practice that way as much. It's more fun to go, oh, I know that, and you're comfortable. You get what you practice. There you go. Now, measure 47. It's again that 16th note subdivision. 1 E and a 2 tie, D, 3, G, D, 1, D. So you're going to have to think pulse E and a pulse, pulse, D, 3, G. I like to say pulse, pulse, and pulse, and pulsey, and pulsey, and pulse is quarter notes, pulse, 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 and eighth notes, pulsey, and 16ths. So measure 47, pulsey, and 4 on D, pulse, D, 3, G, D, 1, D, 1, 3, A, 4, D, G. I'll do it super slowly one time. Pulsey and pulse, and G, E, and D, 4, 4, D, 3, G, D, 1, D, 1, 3, A, 4, D. Now, if you notice, it's the exact same thing in measure 43. Here we go. Ready, and 43. Do another down, down, 1 on D, low 1, and then that's pretty much it to the end. I think you'll be fine. Let's go back to the beginning. If you practiced the other video, I think you'll be fine. And we'll read the piece down, and hopefully I'm not too tired that I can't keep track of how many measures I'm doing things. You put your bow in your hand like this for the pizzicato. It's sort of like the loser thing, ha. But no, you just put the bow in your hand, and then your thumb can go here, and you can pluck A, D, G, and your thumb just is pretty stable there. Not too close to the rosin part, just about in the middle between the bottom of the neck and the bottom of the fingerboard. Because what you have to do in measure 36 is go rest, D, 1, 3, 4. And you see how I walk through my fingers? And you just practice that at first, the D, 1, 3, 4, rest, D, 1, 3, 4, and then say, oh, now I'll practice that A, 1, 2, 4, maybe it's my second group, A, 1, 2, 4, and do it again, A, 1, 2, 4, A, 1, 2, 4, and then the extra D, 4 the first time. Put it together, rest, D, 1, 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 4, D, 4, 1, 2, rest, D, 1, 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 4, and then you're going to go back when you're performing the piece to 17, and you do that G, piano, G, G, G. The pizzicato is forte, but you come back to the arco, which means to bow. It's in parentheses at 17 because you always bow it. But right before that, you've done pizzicato, and it's forte. So a little faster on the pizzicatos, and we'll go right back to 17 del segno. 1, 2, rest. D, 1, 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 4, A, 4, 1, 2, 1. A, 1, 2, 4, rest. And again, I just do another down. Then forte. Because it's piano, I really don't have to worry about circling the bow, just do another down. Does that make sense? Like we talked about in the video? I think we're ready to run the piece. Let's see if my brain isn't too tired. We start in measure 5. You can listen to your recording to listen to what happens on YouTube. So I'll count measure 4. Measure 4, 2, 4. Rest. Now soft. Forte. Back to measure 17. Exaggerate dynamics. If it's soft, be super soft. Forte. Second ending. 1 on D. Mezzo forte, not too low, not too soft. 3 on G. 1 on G. Back to 26. 1 on D. 3 on G. 30. Second ending. Rest. 2. Rest. 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 4, D, 4, 1, 2, rest. 3, 4, A, 1, 2, 4. Back to G. This measure 17 for that del segno, right? Now we're going to go to the coda. Sforzando. 1 on D. Low 1. 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 2, forte, piano. 2 E and 2 E and. He might slow down at the end and just watch. However long he wants to do it is as long as it's done. Conductor's always in charge. Hopefully a benign and friendly dictatorship. Have a good time practicing.